Hi, and welcome to AI productivity. So today we're talking about AI moving from chatbots and uh, just prompting AI to actually using productivity gains in your workplace. So there's so many different ones. So I'm going to try and highlight some of them. It's a long lecture, but I'm going to just go through it and you can go back to the areas that you'd like more information on, of course. I've also shortened this lecture with a 5-minute video based on this longer one. I put it up to Notebook LM. It created this infographic for me. It created a shorter video for me. So there's a number of different ways you can digest this topic. And I also have a number of video tutorials that you can go deep dive if you're looking for more information. So what I'm generally getting to today is productivity using the Microsoft ecosystem, productivity using the Google Workspace ecosystem, and productivity as it's within some of the other purpose-based tools like Notebook LM and like HeyGen. There's a couple new things you can do there that I'm going to share with you. Okay, so let's get right into it. What I have over here is, as always, you want to look at AI as your new employee. So perhaps it's optimizing what your HR department does. So how do you figure out what can help them with productivity? It could be resume screening. Perhaps you upload all the resumes and you ask AI to look at them all and prioritize those that are strongest to weakest. So that is kind of cool way to do it. Something like HR. Financial expenses, we actually have a really good video that shows you how to create a dashboard and an interactive dashboard that you can just change one element and it changes the entire dashboard for you. So that's really cool. So there's so many different ways that you can use your productivity gains. So let me get into this presentation. I,
Welcome, everyone, to
ah,
today's deep dive. Now, I want to speak directly to you listening right now. Specifically, if you're a business leader and a student in Trent University's AI for Business Leadership micro-credential course.
Yeah, we have got something incredibly relevant for your day-to-day operations today.
We really do. Our mission today is to provide a high-level.
so I have a audio podcast for you on the actual Notebook LM, as well as I put the audio podcast for you. And you heard that it started there on our course content. So have a listen to that. That might just another perspective of the same content. So we definitely know there's browser-based, embedded-based, and purpose-built AI. We've talked about that quite a bit. Like I said, today I'm focusing on the productivity gains that we get in this column. The Microsoft Copilots, how it could be built into your Microsoft infrastructure. When you first get Microsoft, Copilot's not built into it. You do have to upgrade to have Copilot built into it. We'll talk about all the benefits of doing that. Same with Google and your Google Docs and your Google Drive. As soon as you get Google and you have access to all of these different apps, you still have to upgrade in order to have Gemini added to these apps, okay? So that you can actually open up a file and know that it's going to and store it and save it in one of your drives for Google, and then anything else that's in that same Google Drive, your file that you're working on, you can ask it to summarize some other files. You can go in and choose the files you want it to perhaps put a chart in a Word document from another Excel spreadsheet, like in a sheets that is saved in your Google Drive. Same in your Microsoft world. If you have something saved in your SharePoint, which is the Microsoft equivalent to Google Drive, if you have something saved in your SharePoint, then what you're able to do is have the Excel spreadsheet that is in that share file folder viewable by the Word document that you're working on that you've already saved in that same file folder system structure. So it needs to be able to see it, and it needs to know that it's in that ecosystem. So if you have something saved on your desktop, it won't be able to see that. It's got to be saved in your ecosystem to be seen there. And then we'll also talk a little bit about Zoom and Teams and GoToMeeting, how it has AI built into it as well. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So the aha moment I think for a lot of us has been that most organizations think because they have AI, and they've tried the AI chat tools and AI apps that they have in their phone, that they have AI built into their Microsoft world or their Google world, and they do not. So that's something now that you are getting certified with your AI certification, you know that you don't have embedded AI productivity until it's licensed, until it's enabled either by your admin or yourself to go into your admin and license it into your Microsoft or into your Google, and then it operates within that system. So, and that's where you now have more security for the tools you're working on. So, for example, if you're just using Gemini.google.com, which is browser-based, they call that consumer AI access. If you're using Workspace, which you've now gone into Google, and you now use the Workspace, the business tools, it's seeing each other, and you're using all of your apps, but it doesn't have AI built into it still until you upgrade. And that's the key. You need to upgrade to include Gemini in your Google apps. Okay, so that's a big difference. Same thing with Copilot. If you have Microsoft, doesn't mean you have Copilot. Okay, so if you have Microsoft, you might be using Outlook, you might be using Word and all of the other Microsoft tools, Teams even, but doesn't mean that you have AI. So if you then upgrade your Microsoft to Microsoft 360 Business, you want to do that, but you still don't have access to AI. It's not embedded in it until you add Copilot to Microsoft 365, and you have to have a minimum of Microsoft 365 in order to have Copilot. Okay, and that's where you've got embedded AI, and that's where your security governance process starts. Okay, and that's where you're able to have the privacy and the security that you want if you are that kind of organization where you need to have security for your financials, securities for your personnel, security for the IP that you're working on. Okay, so this is how much they cost in the Microsoft world. Microsoft Copilot, when you want it embedded in your AI, so that means you already have Microsoft 365, you've already paid for that. So Copilot is an add-on to your existing Microsoft 365 plan. Of course, if you're Microsoft Enterprise, it's an add-on per person, and your IT department has to enable it and pay for it per person. So Microsoft 365, I believe, is around, this isn't right, that's not a right conversion, but say $20 US per person for Microsoft 365, if that's what you have. And then Microsoft Enterprise version, if you're a larger company, it's around $30 US per person. So that adds up when you have thousands of employees or hundreds of employees. You've got to multiply that amount by the employee number if you're going to give them all access multiplied, every month, right? So that's why businesses have, they really think twice. But how you want to think about it, it's kind of one video I saw recently that hit home. They said, if you went to buy a couple of coffees a week, high-end coffees and a donut for each of your employees, you're paying more than this or that a month for those employees, and we're giving them, caffeine and sugar. Or you could be giving them the capability that AI does, and you're giving them productivity gains, you're giving them knowledge. So it is worth it. It's just an expense budget, an expense line that we hadn't thought of, right? So that's what's very interesting right now, what people are going to do with that new expense line. So in Google, if you're a Google company and you have Google Starter, your typical plan is we're $7 per month US, which isn't too much, and that will integrate your Google features with AI. So that's really cool. So that's kind of your Google Starter. And then your business plan, which is the one that this one I think is new, this one, but because I know I started paying around this one right off the bat. But more storage, more security features. So as you upgrade, you end up with more security features as well. On the browser version, when you upgrade your Gemini, it also upgrades your security features. So same thing with your AI. As you're upgrading your AI and upgrading the business model that you're on for your apps, it upgrades your security features. So the highest tier, just like enterprise level on Copilot, we have enterprise level on Google. Okay, so that's kind of an overview. These are a number of AI productivity videos that I find useful. The first one, I like this fellow, Kevin. He has a number of AI videos, not just Microsoft. The rest of these are all Microsoft, but he has a number of them across all of the AI tools that I respect. And I respect the way he presents them. I like that he has his whatever he is, what's it called at the bottom of the video? Anyways, what he has on is uh, you can cut and paste. Here, I'll just show you what I mean. Yeah, this is one of his. It's one of my favorite videos that he's done. Yeah, of course, those videos that become popular have the um,
Today, we're going to build a
so what he has is if you go down and you click on more and you scroll all the way down, he always has on his transcripts. So I like having the transcripts showing. That way I can go down and see that I want to click here and just listen to this part. He also has, which is really nice, timestamps in here in his description. Not everyone has that, but most people you can scroll down and click on the uh, transcript, show transcript, and it'll show up on the side. So you scroll down and here. Another reason I really like transcripts is I can um, highlight and do a control C, and I can take this and put this into a document or into ChatGPT or whoever I'm working with at the time, whichever AI I'm working with, and ask it to summarize it for me. So if you're working with Notebook LM and you're finding this to be an amazing tutorial, you're able to go in and copy and paste that right into Notebook LM if you want. But you can also, by the way, because transcripts are on, if transcripts were off, you could not do this. Because transcripts are on, you can also click the share, copy the link to this video, and put that in Notebook LM, and it actually reads the entire, it can hear or read the entire video. And then that becomes um, part of your Notebook LM knowledge base. So these videos are very powerful if you're trying to learn a topic. And that's one of the productivity gains that I can't live without now. So here's a whole bunch of them for you. If you want to go back and see them at some point, the Microsoft Copilot tutorial list is right here. This is right from Microsoft, so that's a very good one as well. This one's creating an AI spreadsheet using Microsoft Copilot, but not using 365. So this is kind of interesting. So if you do not have 365, so you do not have Copilot in your 365, you can still look at this video. It'll show you how to use Microsoft copilot.com, or is it copilot.microsoft.com, but it'll show you which one I mean. And you can still use that to help create your Excel spreadsheet. I also warn you that you want to be careful that you're not using financials that you don't want shared, because that version is a browser based. So be very careful, but you can still use the power of AI in Excel, even if you don't have 365, by looking at this little video, which shows you how to do that, which is kind of cool. Um, and this one's looking at Microsoft Word and how to use that better using AI and Copilot. And this one looks at how to use PowerPoint better using Microsoft Copilot. Okay? And AI, obviously, in each of them. So, if you want to think about it with Gemini being the thinking layer, now let's take it from productivity to automation within Gemini, Google, or looking at how to use from productivity to automation within Microsoft. So let me show you how you do that. So there's another layer you have to add on. So right now we've got our first layer, which are the apps. And now we've embedded AI in those apps. But now, if you want something to happen where you want it to do a task, and we know that's what automation is, where we want it to do a task. So not only is it summarizing the file and helping us create a better doc better, or a better Word better, or helping us create a business plan, but now what we want it to do is to perhaps set some tasks for us, where it's going to go out and perhaps do some research for us. Perhaps it's going to take that research now and actually do an activity of reporting back to us and creating another file. Perhaps now it's going to, every Monday, we're going to give it a task to go into our shared folder and pull from that everything that people have put into that folder and give me an executive summary. So now what we're doing is an automation layer. So that is another license that you have to buy. And that is the third layer that you can do within your Microsoft ecosystem or within your Google ecosystem without using something like Zapier or Make. So within those two ecosystems, you can just use the app, or you can add the AI embedded tool within it. So you're now using that app safely with all the productivity gains and all the research capability that you can do within your ecosystem. And you can initiate looking at different files within your ecosystem. However, what if you want it to initiate doing something for you when you're not even there? That's automation. So you can have scheduled workflows and triggers across apps within your ecosystem through automation. To do that, you have to use something called Workspace Studio, or app sheets, or app scripts, which becomes a little more complicated. I looked at both of those, and you have to add some script to it. This one, Workplace Studio, is the most straightforward. So that adds the automation layer. Pretty cool, right? So in Microsoft, what happens is you've got Microsoft apps, of course, in 365. Then you have to add the thinking layer, the AI layer to it, so you can work with it like your new employee sitting next to you, and an Excel new employee knows how to do everything on Excel, or knows how to do everything about filling in a business plan. So you've got this really smart employee stuck within your ecosystem, within that file, within that application. But now you can have that new smart employee actually do stuff for you when you're not there. You can ask it to create analysis and summaries. You can ask it to trigger workflows approvals. So say you have a whole bunch of Excel spreadsheets coming in, and every time there's a new line with an email, it can email out for you a welcome letter to who, if you want, if that's what that new line was about. So you can schedule a process, and that is called that's called Power Automate. So to create the automation within Microsoft, the layer you need to add to it and buy is Power Automate. Okay? So those are the three different layers. Sometimes you get frustrated because you think, oh, another layer. But these layers do not cost that much and they are definitely worth it. So these now, what I have is some ideas for your productivity using AI and some of the main uses. We've talked a lot about these already, so I'm not sure I'm going to spend very much time on them. But marketing, automating your marketing, analyzing data, personalizing the outreach so it knows what segment it's sending what to, research, gathering insights and summarizing articles. So that's other things it can do, track trends for you, analyze or visualize data, detect patterns. This is within Excel or Sheets. Administration, it could automate scheduling, which is really cool. It could manage documents, streamline approvals. So that is, there's so much it can do. So you can see all the different things it can do. We've talked about a lot of them because some of these might end up being your AI final project. Then there's workflow integration. Pull multiple reports together and generate a summary. So you can have it do it automatically if you want, if you know people are sharing reports with you in a certain folder, and maybe every Friday you want it to go in, look at all the new reports from that week, and give you a summary. That would be productivity gains with a task built into it, which means automation. Pretty cool, right? So email and email responses, it can draft an email response every time one comes in. I would suggest that you always have the human element in there before you send out the response. Make sure it didn't go off the rails and not understand something. Scheduling, it can coordinate meetings, finding the optimal time. Again, if it's in your ecosystem and it has that, everyone is using the same calendar, then it can access that same calendar. Okay, so these are different things that you can see. So email productivity, I have shown you this before, but if you have Gmail and your Gemini has now been, your Google system has been upgraded, so you have Gemini built into it, like here, it's in your actual app. Then you're able to click on that, and you can ask it anything you want. And what I asked here, are there any emails I need to follow up on? It goes through all my emails and it tells me what I've missed. So that's very useful. When you scroll down, you can click on the source and it'll take you to the actual email that it's talking about. So that's very useful. And then down here, I could ask it to give me a draft response to whichever one of the ones that I'm looking to respond to. It'll draft the response. So it'll go look at everything we've ever said together, which the one I've chosen, and it'll give me a summary of what it thinks I should respond. Of course, I'm going to go in and tweak it so that it sounds like me or that making sure it's correct. So on Word for productivity or anything in the Microsoft world, you'll know if Copilot is built in because you'll see the Copilot logo right in. When you click on Home, you'll see the Copilot logo already built into here, which is very cool, right? And then when you click on it, what happens is a little panel shows up on the side, and that's where you can put in your prompts. You can tell it, I'm about to respond to this business plan, if that's what you're doing, and you want its help to answer each of the questions in the business plan. Or I'm talking about responding to a grant or responding to an RFQ, a request for proposal. Sorry about that. So if you're responding to an RFP, a request for proposal, you could actually have that request for proposal. What would you do? Think about it. Okay, what I would do is I would download it in this case, into my SharePoint. And then I would also make sure that I've saved this document. When I open it up, I would give it a name. I'd save it in that same SharePoint folder. And then I would put other documents in that same SharePoint that I think it might need for that business plan or for that replying to that request for proposal, right? And so then I would say, help me respond to this business request for proposal. So it has my financials, it has my bio, it has everything that it might need, and it's going to start crafting it for me. Very cool, right? So that is a beautiful way to get productivity gains out of your ecosystem using Microsoft Word. Cool, right? So productivity and automation in your Google, you need Google Workspace, as I mentioned. So what that helps you do is every Monday at 8 a.m., for example, research the latest AI news is what I'm doing. And what I want it to do is collect 8 to 12 key stories with titles, sources, and URLs from reputable tech and business sites, save them in my Google Sheets. And I have the Google Sheets called AI News. Now, before you do that, you need to make sure you have your Google Sheets created. So it has to be already created. And then create a one-page executive summary in a Google Doc called. So I would have to have my Google Doc already created as well. Finally, email the summary link to the sheet to me, and I have to put in my email with the subject, weekly AI news for business leaders. So that's something you can do. So if I click on this little link that I have here for you, it shows you how it all works. There's a couple of videos here. You can get started with it, and it shows you how this works if this is something you're interested in doing. Again, it does cost to upgrade, but I just thought you would want to know about that. So how to access your Google Workspace Studio, it's also called Flows, is you open your Workspace Studio in your a Google account. You go to studio.workspace.google.com. So you just follow these instructions if this is something you'd like to do. Okay. So that's kind of cool. If you don't have access to it, it's going to tell you that you need to upgrade. So if you go here and it'll tell you you either have to upgrade or you already have access to it. So that's pretty cool. There's something I'm just going to throw in here that I showed you in the live Zoom lecture, which is really new. It's kind of cool. Hey, in ChatGPT, you can now access HeyGen right from there, which is really cool. So you need a HeyGen account. So you'd open up your HeyGen account. And if you want to, you can create a clone of yourself in HeyGen, which is I did that once, right? So now I can just go to ChatGPT and say, in this case, please create a video for me with me on how to use HeyGen through ChatGPT. Use my avatar here. So I uploaded this photo of myself. It's supposed to be of me and one of my dogs. And please share the benefits of accessing HeyGen all from ChatGPT. So I did that, and then all of a sudden it started. So I'm in ChatGPT here, but it pulled up the HeyGen app and it started going in a circle. It started confirming next steps and it started working. And then it came back with this. So it said, okay, this is what it's going to do. It came back with the script and a link to HeyGen. So the script is 90 seconds long. It's telling me the opening. It's telling me what it's going to look like. And so then there is a link saying if you'd like to change anything, go to ChatGPT and change whatever, or sorry, go to HeyGen and change it. So then it gave me, I said, no, it's good, go for it. So it came back with this. It showed me the opening screen. It told me what it was going to say, and it told me the visual of what it was going to look like at that point. And then it told me the second scene and the visual of what that was going to look like. So it went very detailed, and this was all within a few seconds. Now, this isn't free. You do have to use up your HeyGen credits. So when you buy a HeyGen subscription, you are using a certain amount every month. And then when you use up all of that amount, sorry, every day, when you use up all that amount, you have to wait till the next day to continue whatever you were working on. So that's a little frustrating, but you'll get used to it after a while. So now I clicked on it because I wanted to see what it was doing in HeyGen. So I clicked on the link it gave me and it showed me, great, I'm now generating all the custom assets, music, motion video for you. It might take a moment. And it started working on my video and it was going around in the circle working on it. So this is what it created. I'll show you. Oh, and in there, I actually said to it to please use my HeyGen clone voice. So let's just click on it and I'll show you.
Hi, I'm here with my trusted sidekick. Let me show you how to create videos using HeyGen directly from ChatGPT. Creating professional videos has never been easier. Now, ChatGPT helps you plan and script your content, and then triggers HeyGen to bring your vision to life, all in one seamless workflow. It's simple. First, describe your video idea directly in ChatGPT. It's like talking to a creative director. Refine your script, adjust the tone, and set your desired video length with just a few prompts. Choose your favorite avatar and select from dozens of languages to reach a global audience instantly. Once you're ready, hit generate. HeyGen does the heavy lifting, rendering your professional video in minutes. The benefits are huge. You'll create content faster without switching tools while maintaining a consistent brand voice. It's perfectly scalable and multilingual, helping you connect with anyone, anywhere, regardless of your language skills. Best of all, no expensive cameras or editing skills are required. Your ideas are the only limit. From idea to video, all in one flow. Let's create together. See you in chat.
So pretty cool, right? And the neat thing is I could have asked it to translate it all into a different language if I happen to have a client I'm trying to talk to in a different language, and I would have synced my lips to the language and the language would have been, anyways, as you can see, that's a huge productivity gain and really increases your ability for different markets.
Hi.
Okay, so now let's look at scheduling. So if you recall in our last class together, our live Zoom, I was trying to show you how to schedule because one of the your cohorts was looking at something that would help him if he could go out and have AI automatically do a search on a specific topic and then come back and give him a report automatically and send it to him and save it. And I was trying to show him on ChatGPT how that works. And when I went there, I couldn't find schedules, and we found where schedule was. You go down here to your own name when you have an account. It has to be a plus minimum in order for that to work. Then you go on settings, and then you click on schedule, and it'll say create a schedule. However, mine didn't even say create a schedule, and I couldn't figure that out. Well, it ends up that it used to be that you can create up to 5 schedules, 5 different tasks, automate them. Now you can only create 2. So it was, oh my goodness. So I had to go in and delete a bunch of my tasks. But once you have your tasks, you click on manage, and that allows you to edit your current tasks or allows you to delete them. So once you have one created, or if you don't have any created and you have enough to create more, you click on create task, and this is what it lets you do. It lets you go in and put in a prompt first, and then it lets you indicate how often you want that task to run. So what I suggest you do first is just go in and test the prompt. Make sure it's something you really like. So, and then once you like it, then I would suggest you actually go in and schedule it. So in this case, I'm asking it to go out and research a whole bunch of information for AI for small businesses and how they can benefit from it on a daily basis and make sure they cite the sources. And then from that, I wanted to create a blog. And then from that, I wanted to create, I think I said 10 social media posts for Facebook and LinkedIn. Perfect. So that's what it does for me. And it sends it to me, in this case, daily at 9:45. So it is very powerful. I have a couple other ones that I had set up as well. One for my husband's snowblowing. It goes out and it looks at the temperatures and the amount of snow we're going to have in a few different regions, and then it comes back with a go or no-go prediction for us for that next day. So that's really cool, right? So I just wanted to share that with you. If you click on these, there's some dots after they're created. You can either run it again, or you can click on the and edit it, or delete it. And that works out well. If something's not working in it, you can always go in and edit it a little bit. So this just tells you how to do these and what I just said about the dots where you can actually then change it if you need to. Okay, so what happens here is you've got ChatGPT going to email, which is within, in this case, my Gmail account. And then what I wanted to do was autosave to my actual Google Drive. So when you get the email for the first time, then you go back to that email for the first time, and there's a dot, dot, dot next to the email. And that's where you can ask it that every time this comes in, save it to my Google Drive. Now, to do that, you need to make sure that you have your Google at the right level to do that. So if you don't, then what you can do is every time it sees it, you can go dot, 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 save it into a folder. You don't need to upgrade for that, right? So there are folders within your actual Gmail system on the left. So it automatically goes into those folders. But if you want it to go into your Google Drive, then you need to upgrade because, like we said, it needs to, if it's going to go between different apps within the Google system, you need to upgrade for the automate abilities. Okay. So it's automatic flow. You're basically searching, analyzing on ChatGPT. It writes it, it formats, and it emails to you. So this is that the workspace I told you about that you have to upgrade in order for the automatic simple flows to work. So there's a starter one for $4. There's a standard one for $9. So you should start on the starter one to see if that gives you enough for what you need to do. And that allows you then to have something go to your Gmail and then from there save it into your Google Docs automatically. Sorry, into your Google Drive automatically if you want to. Very cool, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you. Okay, I'm just going to skip over this. And it's why small business owners would need to do that to upgrade to Google Workspace Studio is what it's called, is it turns AI from just helping you think into doing the work for you. So if you're doing something on an ongoing basis and you're in the Google world, then you may want to upgrade because it's only going to be, I think, $4 a month or $7 a month, and it does the work for you. So if you have a repetitive task, you can be somewhere else. It's going to be doing these tasks for you. What it does automates repetitive work. So you need to do your little workflow and figure out what you want to automate. So it could be something you're going to do for your AI business solution for this class is look at some of your workflows and say, that's what I want to do. I'm going to automate those. Okay, so you kind of think about, and you could, if you want, just think about what you do on a daily basis that touches a number of different apps within Google. And that does searching within, say, ChatGPT, and then write down the workflow. And then you can actually put it into ChatGPT and ask it, how would I automate this? I have this level of Google applications, and I'd like to automate that within my ecosystem. Or I have this level of Microsoft 365 and Copilot. And Power Automate. I want to upgrade it. I want to update it. Sorry, I'm trying to say automate. I'm trying to automate it to improve my productivity, and it'll tell you exactly how to do it. It'll tell you what prompts to say. It'll tell you exactly how to do it. So it connects the apps together so the workflow happens without you having to physically do it. So it could save hours a week. It could eliminate cut and paste and errors, missteps, and everything is kept secure within your workspace. So I'm hoping that makes sense to you as to why you would do that. And this is how you would find it. If you're not sure if you bought it or not, you have to go to your admin and your subscription within your admin.google.com to see what your current apps are. And then I had to find it and I had to pay for it because I didn't have it yet. So it showed that it's active and I have it. So that's pretty cool, right? Okay, so this just tells you more information about this. And then let's see. I think that's all I wanted to show you there. This is just showing you, that's as if you want more information, you can look at do a deeper dive on these. So if you happen to be in Google Slides, just an example, so your Google Slides, if you're in your Google Slides, which is like PowerPoint, but in Google, and you're creating some slides and you want to say, look at these 3 different files within my Google Drive, those files need to be saved in Google Drive. So you would click on Gemini and you would be able to click here, and there's a plus here. And on that plus, you can search for the files within the drive. So you want to make sure that you've opened up your Google Slides, and then what you're looking at when you're doing the plus, it's going to see the files that are already in that Google Drive. It will not see the files on your desktop. It will not see files in another drive. So for Gemini to find them and apply its summary to it and help you with it, it needs to be in the same file system. Okay. So embedded for small businesses, Google versus Microsoft in summary. The thinking layer is Gemini, and in Microsoft, it's Copilot. Gemini helps you write, research, analyze within Gmail, Docs, Sheets, Slides. I could add to this GoToMeeting, because that's how you would do your collaboration in Meets, which is over here. So if you're doing Copilot, it helps you analyze and create within Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, or Teams. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And then if you want the automation level, you want to take it the next step to automation, you need to then upgrade so you have Workspace Studio in your Google world. So that now takes this and it hooks them together if you want, so you can do some multi-step automation between them. So it might look at something in your Gmail and add a row to a sheet every time you end up getting a new email from a certain person or a certain group or something in the subject line, or even say you have a Google form that you've created and people are filling that in. Every time you get an answer, you can have it automatically fill in a Google Sheet, so you can do that kind of stuff, the automation, which is really cool. On the Microsoft level, it's called Power Automate, and that's going to automate the workflows between Microsoft 365 apps within SharePoint, Teams, and hundreds of other connectors. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Just in general, a short form of what I just showed you there was Gemini. You're looking at Google Drive, where it's going to be looking at shared drives, workspace folders. Hey, Google, stop. And permission access, based access. With Microsoft Copilot, you're looking at OneDrive, SharePoint, team files, and permission base. Obviously, if I don't share my file to somebody within my ecosystem, it's not going to let that person find my file. Okay. So I think that is, I have a lot of examples here now, but it's really talking about the same thing. And I'm going to have to continue here. This is if you like the idea of what I said, where Google, you have a form and people are filling it in, and you want it to automatically go into your uh, a slide into your Google Sheets. This is how you create a form. I just have that link for you here. Okay, so just in closing for this aspect, if you have a if you're working in Google Docs and you want it to summarize other files, those files need to be in that same Google Drive that you're working in. Okay, so like the example here, I've clicked on my Gemini, it opens up that panel. So I have the thinking layer open. Now what I want it to do is go into my shared Google Drive, and I do that by clicking on the plus here, and it sees the files that are in that Google Drive, and I clicked on a few, and I've asked it to then please create an executive summary, just 2 pages long, summarizing these 2 documents, and I told it who it was aimed at, who the reader was going to be, and it started creating that executive summary for me. It's pretty cool, right? So that really is a big time saver. So here are the productivity gains, and I have a couple of slides on each, and I'm not going to go through them. I want you to come back if it's something that is of interest to you. If you want productivity gains on Microsoft Word, this is explaining to you what it can do. For example, like voice dictation, hands-free drafting. So there's just all sorts of different things. AI-powered writing assistant. So there's a number of things it can do for you. So on Microsoft Word, and then I have some prompts. If you are a Microsoft Word human, in writing a grant submission, here is an example of what you would need to do to help you reply to a grant on Microsoft Word. Another one, here's a prompt integration within Microsoft Word. Insert the latest sales chart in my Microsoft Word from my Excel file and link to this file. So because I'm in the same um, uh, ecosystem where that file is saved, it's saved on SharePoint, it will be able to see it, and it'll be able to now put in a summary from that spreadsheet. It's looking at the spreadsheet, which is kind of cool. It's looking at the Excel document and summarizing it. Now that's kind of a high level, right? So it could even be an Excel document that was shared with you in your SharePoint. It doesn't have to be one that you created. So that's pretty intense. And so here's another one, real-time collaboration. Share this document with my team. Enable tracking changes. Add comments to the introduction for feedback. So that one's kind of neat. So there's a number of different different ideas of how you might find productivity gains with Microsoft Word. Um, Okay, let me just, there's a whole bunch more here. There's 3 more, and I'm still in Microsoft Word. There's a couple more here, and now I'm in Excel. So in Excel, again, how will I know if I have Excel embedded in my Excel? How do I know if Copilot is embedded? You would click on Home, and you would see the Copilot embedded here. As soon as it's enabled, the next time you open up Excel, it'll be there automatically. And so at this point, you click on that, the panel comes up on the side, and you can ask it for, if this was a spreadsheet on a whole bunch of uh, customer reviews, you can ask it for sentiment. What are people thinking? What was the most common review? What does it suggest we do for fixes? If it's financial statements, you can ask it to tell you if there's a gap, if there's a risk, and it'll analyze it and tell you what it's thinking. It will also, when you open up the Copilot on the side, it'll give you advice. Would you like me to show you this? Would you like me to create a new report? Would you like me to create a new chart? And it starts creating new things for you. It's very powerful. If you have it embedded, I would click on it and just see what it can do for you. So here are some benefits for using Copilot within Excel, summarizing large databases automatically. It'll highlight the key metrics. It'll identify patterns for you and trends. One of the common ones that I find people are using, it'll identify outliners like spot anomalies, which could be errors in your system, which is pretty cool. It'll it'll show you errors that might be in there. So I love this for you. Here's some more prompts that you might want to use within Excel. Copilot summarize total sales by product category. It can do that for you. Show me trends of website traffic over the last 6 months and highlight any seasonal patterns. So as you can see, you can use this in so many different ways. There are more prompts that you can use. Data cleansing, Copilot remove duplicates, fill in missing values, flag any inconsistencies. So things that could have taken you a long time to do, it can really help you scrub your data faster. And then PowerPoint, again, go to Home. You can see if it's on your PowerPoint there. And if it is, then you have Copilot. You click on it, it will open up it'll open it up right here, the panel. And this is where you can it can see other files that are saved in the same file system that it saved in. You can, whether it's Word or Excel, and add It can add photos for you. You can ask it to create a photo of a certain type. It could create a chart. So there's many things it can do. It can summarize. It can look at your PowerPoint and tell you if your flow is okay. It can give you suggestions. So here's some of the benefits. Faster slide creation, generate slides from outlines, documents, or prompts in seconds. Design assistance, apply layouts and themes. Content summarization, summarize lengthy documents into just some concise PowerPoints for you. Visual recommendations, images, icon charts, infographics. So as you can see, there's a ton of things that it can help you do. And here are some more prompts that you may want to have it help you do. If you're looking for visualized suggestions, you can say, Copilot, recommend relevant images and icons for my slide on whichever it happens to be, customer engagement. So that's pretty cool. And I know this image here was created by Copilot within PowerPoint for me on productivity. So I like that image. So I've been using it. So that's pretty cool, right? So you can see all sorts of different other things that you can do with Copilot here within PowerPoint. I'm just going to continue. Outlook is the email or Gmail system equivalent on Microsoft. So you can summarize long emails and threads into key points. So there's many things you can do. You can meeting scheduling automatically propose meeting times because it knows the rest of your team is on that same calendar, so it can propose meeting times that they're all available, send calendar invites, follow up and reminders for important emails. So there's a lot that you can see. Copilot Teams, which is the equivalent to Zoom in Microsoft. So you can do a chat summary, meeting recap, assign tasks to people who said they were going to do certain things within the meeting, collaboration tools. You can so there's so much that we can do, and we've seen a lot of that. And then the benefit of calendaring, we talked about that a little bit already in class. And then there's other apps within the Microsoft world that AI or Copilot, I should say, is built into. Okay, so workflow integration. So I've talked about this video a few times, and I really encourage you to look at this video if it's something that you're interested in. And what I mean by this something, it's an excellent video on showing you how to take Excel to the next level with creating um, really cool dashboards. So the new agent mode, which is now available in Excel, it's something that's built into Excel, and it's something that uh, it takes it a step above just using um, Copilot, because it's not just analyzing the actual spreadsheet and giving you advice. It's actually creating a layer in front of your spreadsheet, and that layer is an interactive dashboard. And it allows you to create it in several different ways that are very complex if you're going to try and create it from scratch. So take a look at this video. I played it for us, part of it, in the live Zoom we had on this week. So I'd love for you to see it. If it's something you're interested in, it's well worth it. It will increase your game with Excel if you want to. And it could definitely be your final project in creating a dashboard for something that you use on an ongoing basis within Excel. Okay. And this is just the same actual video, but it just shows it to you again how easy it is. You go into agent mode and you just say, build a dashboard to help me understand my data, include some visuals, include things like revenue, and you would say by what, units sold over time, profit by month, an example, add tables and charts that are relevant and help me tell the story behind this. And then you'll see how powerful it is. I absolutely love this video. So that's about it. So automation tools, we already talked about them in the layering on top of productivity with Gemini built into Google or Copilot built into Microsoft. Your automation layer becomes Power Automate within 365. And then there's agent mode on top of that, which allows you to do this, which allows you to create those dashboards. So it's very powerful. I know it'll allow you to do other things too, but this is the most useful that I found that I think some of you might be able to use right away. Okay, and then there's of course Zapier, which allows you to help with different workflows. And we're trying to we're trying not to get technical in this class. So Zapier requires workflow and attaching various different apps to it. So what happens with Zapier is, say you don't want to be within the same ecosystem anymore. You have some Gmail, some uh, files that are on an external CRM that you want your Excel spreadsheet to get access to. That's when you need Zapier, but that's a little bit beyond this class, okay? So that means when you have a workflow where you're consistently touching things online that are not within a certain ecosystem, but you want a bridge between them, that's when you're going to use Zapier, okay? So this just shows you some workflow automation video tutorials. So ChatGPT agent, new ChatGPT agent, and how to build it from zero to automation hero. And then we have our 365 automation using Power Automate. You have 365 automation using agent mode, which is what we talked about with that Kevin video with the uh, agent mode. And then finally, you've got Zapier, which takes you between different ecosystems and building a bridge between those ecosystems. So these are all your different workflow automation tools, from basic to more advanced to more advanced to more advanced. When to use Power Automate? Not sure how many of you would ever get into it, but if you're, this just is a table. If you're looking to get to the next level of automation and tasks within the Microsoft world, then you want to look at how you might use Power Automate. And here's a little chart I created for you that shares with you how you might want to use that. So real world example is every Friday. This is actually someone from my last class. They said every Friday they used to manually open over 20 invoices, renaming them and moving them into folders. Now Power Automate desktop version does it in 30 seconds while they grab a coffee, and they're just thrilled about that. Another person, what they were doing on Power Automate is, let's say every Friday you received a folder of invoices. You need to open each one, rename them, and move them to the correct folder. Very boring and repetitive. Power Automate did that. So this is just showing you how you would go in and enable Power Automate, and the steps to launching Power Automate, launching Excel, having it read the data, and then what you need to do in order to have Power Automate do some of the automation for you. So I'm just going to continue here. And then Zoom, in closing, what Zoom is enabling you to do is workflows. So if you go into your Zoom and you go down to AI Companion now, you'll see under it workflow tools. So in this workflow tool, this allows you to have Zoom working for you when you're not there. Okay, so that is really cool. So AI Companion takes minutes while you're at the meeting, right? So at the meeting, it takes minutes. It gives you action items, and it's very powerful. But now what you can also do is afterwards you can have follow-ups from your meeting. So before the meeting, you have to create the workflow. So this is something I was trying to create for our class, where I was trying to have it go out and get everyone's approval for it to send you an email from Zoom triggering that or reminding you that the class is coming up. So the way to do that is I would have to go into workflow. I would have to add everyone in the class to a channel. Once they're added to the channel, what I would be able to do is after the class was done, I'd be able to say, send everybody the minutes, everyone in this channel. Or I could have it do a workflow where it reminds everybody that there's a meeting coming up on a certain date. And then in that workflow, I could say, as soon as the meeting is finished, send them the summary. So I don't have to do anything. It's going to remind people and it's going to send them the summary. So there's a whole bunch of workflows that it has that you have access to in Zoom now. There's introducing new members, greet a new member with a warm, friendly welcome when they come on to the Zoom, daily chat summarize, get a concise daily wrap of channel activity, create a Zoom doc from the meeting summary, set up recurring chats where it's going to set out reminders. So you can go through here on the workflows and see all the different workflows that they have, or you can create your own new workflow by clicking on that. Google Meets, they also have some AI available. And in it, one of the things I found very cool that looked like it was very easy to do is when someone is listening to your um, presentation on Google Meets, it automatically translates it for them in languages of their choice. So they don't have very many languages rolled out yet, but they do have a few. And from what I'm seeing, it's Spanish and English right now. But what it'll do is if you're speaking in English, it'll automatically translate it into Spanish. It'll translate the transcripts at the bottom, as well as the auto captions, rather, as well as it'll translate what they hear. So that's very powerful. And so what I understand is Teams and Zoom also have them. So that's a very powerful productivity tool available to you, feature rather, that you might want to look at. Because I know a few of you have different um, uh, ethnic groups that you want to talk to. Now, it doesn't have very many, and it's still in beta, as you can see here, but it's coming along. And that's it. Okay, thank you very much.